Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Sunday. How are you? How's the weekend? It's the last weekend of August 2025, and that brings us to another 4 months to go for 2025. I don't know about you, man, but 2025 has been really, really interesting. So I guess, yeah, like the world event is quite eventful, as in like a lot of changes and stuff. So yeah, I think things are good. Let me see if I'm live. Okay, I'm live. All right, welcome back to Ask Jason Anything About Meta Advertising and Digital Marketing. Just in case you're not aware, I actually started talking about not just meta advertising, but I've since expanded my coverage in digital marketing. Because the reason why I wanted to start expanding into these topics is because, in fact, this is really something that I've been doing. When I first started my career in 2010, as I started my agency, it was more like a digital marketing agency, and eventually, I got a lot more zoom into meta advertising. But as we work with clients, we actually cover a lot of marketing aspect. Like for example, I always like to say something about meta advertising, which is a lot of people focus too much on advertising, but they forgot that advertising is actually part of marketing. So if your marketing is not ready, your advertising is gotta be, like not optimized. Like, let me give you this very simple example. So let's say if you start running ads to your e-commerce website, but your e-commerce website is not optimized in terms of the landing page, in terms of the user experience, in terms of your email, card recovery emails is not set up. And when a person purchased your product and all that, you don't have a system to warm them up. That's what I call a marketing that is not complete, marketing system that is incomplete. And that can be putting a lot of money on the table, because if you don't have it, like I think last week I just talked about something very simple but useful, which is card recovery email. Um, in fact, that usually captures at least 5 to 10%. See, for example, if you get like 10 people who added to cart and initiated checkout, if you do have card recovery email, they can actually help you get at least 5 to 10% conversion out of it. Imagine, that's extra money. Like I say, these are all the money that is living on the table. That's why really we can't avoid talking about marketing when it comes to meta advertising. But because meta advertising was more like a sexy topic back then, now it's kind of common. But then again, like I also feel more comfortable to talk more about, meta advertising and marketing as a combination right now because of my experience. I mean, when I first started, like in 2010, of course, I was really, really young at that time. And basically the experience was not as much as I have right now. Now that I've worked with thousands of advertisers from all around the world now, learning all these interesting tricks from all kind of businesses that I've ever encountered, I believe I'm more ready for that. So yeah, I mean, I don't just want to talk about meta advertising. Of course, that's my core, but I want to take a step further. So as moving forward, I actually welcome a lot more like marketing questions that you are facing, like even directions. Like the other day, I was just talking to a startup. He was asking me a very interesting question whereby he asked me, Jason, should I start planning about the next step? And they are about to launch their first product, which is very interesting new startup. So they will have an e-commerce website coming up, and they were going to start selling this product. It's a single sports related product that they are launching. Though, so he started to talk about like whether should I start doing about what do we call, probably in a few years down the road or a few months down the road, they want to start introducing supplement plan, because they believe, people who might be buying their socks are those people who are athletes. But then again, I was giving them another angles to look at this thing, which is sometimes if we put too much frame conception about our business, we might be restricting its growth. So I was telling them, why don't we just launch the product into the market first, and then we optimize the sales and start getting revenue in first, and then we watch how the market perceive our product. Because for the longest time, right, I always like to say that whatever that I perceive, whatever that I believe a brand would do, or so-called the direction would be, the market always take it to the wrong, I wouldn't say wrong, but the other direction that I never really imagined before. So I was saying, what if your product is more popular among older folks? Who knows? Because they need that kind of support more than normal athletes. So then you probably, if you start developing your direction now, you might not actually make it work eventually. These are all the money and time invested into developing the direction. If it doesn't work, then it's going to be, go down the drain. So I was saying, why don't we just observe first? So take it one step at a time. I'm not saying that we shouldn't think, more steps ahead, but let's focus on all the marketing, like things that we need to fix right now. So yeah, so that's interesting topics that we talk about when I work with my clients. So anyway, just in case this is the first time you see me, my name is Jason. Thank you so much for watching this. What I do is I go live every Sunday night to talk about meta advertising and digital marketing. As you probably already know, I specialize in meta ads optimization for the longest time since 2010. As a digital marketing agency from 2010 to 2020, I was very much mostly about helping clients getting the most out of meta advertising activities. Of course, along the way, I also build websites. So sort of, I specialize a little bit in terms of UI UX, and then we talk about, marketing strategies a little bit. But then again, for the longest time, what I specialize in, if you have been running ads and you are not seeing consistent result, okay, that's what I can help. Basically what I do is my approach is very straightforward. I am a number first person. I always believe that the number will not lie. Instead of making decision based on our gut feeling, I always advocate that let's make decision based on numbers. So what I do is if we work together, the first thing we would do is we dive into your campaign together, and then we draw out all the hypotheses. So let's say if your CTR is bad, consistently for a few weeks, then probably it's because of the ad fatigue, or maybe your ad is really not optimized. We should start testing new creative. Now, the other one is we probably will look at the entire customer journey as well. Let's say you have a lot of people visiting your website, but you have very low add to cart, then, well, let's try to see if we are able to do something to improve the add to cart. So those are the things that I do, based on, working with clients. So if you need help, if you have been running ads, especially if you do run ads and you're not seeing consistent result, or you have been seeing consistent result, but you want to take it to the next level, but you tried many ways, you can't really make it work. So that's where I step in. So all you need to do is just go to my YouTube channel. Basically, there is a link that you can actually schedule a quick discussion. We call it a strategy discovery call, and see whether we are a good fit to work together. If yes, then I will invite you to enroll into my program, which we work together on a weekly basis to take your campaign to the next level, one step at a time. But of course, if you just want to have a quick one-on-one discussion to look at your ads campaign, to go into your, strategy, you have some questions that you want to bounce idea about your whatever new launch that you're going to have and all that, you just need another pair of eyes to look at it, feel free. I have another option that you can just purchase a 30 minutes or 60 minutes call, one-off, no obligation. Just book a call over Zoom, then we can just look into it, whatever that we need to look into over the 30-minute or 60-minute Zoom call. So you can either go for the one-on-one link or the Meta Ads coaching link. Then eventually, I look forward to work with you. All right, so what I do here is I go live every Sunday night answering questions about meta advertising and digital marketing. So if you have any questions regarding meta advertising and digital marketing, first thing I would encourage you to do is please go to my YouTube channel. Over the years, I've posted over 1,000 videos. I think close to 1,400 already, videos about meta advertising and digital marketing. And chances are I probably have covered something similar to the challenge that you're facing right now. If you do, then you can find one. Great, watch the video. Hopefully you get your answer. Move on to the next thing, because there are 1,001 things that you need to worry about when it comes to optimizing a meta ads and your digital marketing. Now, if you cannot find an answer, do not worry. All you need to do is, well, if you want to book a one-on-one call, feel free. But if you just want me to kind of answer questions in the public, I understand there are certain things I won't be able to really address it head on, because if I'm not able to see your numbers and all that, it's not possible. But I can give you the direction, the concept, the idea, so that you probably can do this on your own. Now, all you need to do is just post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screenshot your question, and I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to answer questions live on the following Sunday. All right, that sounds cool, right? So that's what we do. Now, but like I said, just in case you need a one-on-one, all you need to do is scan this QR code. It will take you to my one-on-one. And that's support whereby you can just book a call and pay for it right away. No obligation, no contract or whatever. Let's have a quick discussion to address whatever challenges that you're facing, or you have a campaign that is performing or not performing. Whether you want to optimize it or you want to take it to the next level, finding the best way to scale it, that's definitely useful. Or you want to discuss about your digital marketing ideas before you launch it and all. or you have some marketing challenges that you are facing right now, you want somebody to talk to, feel free. Scan this QR code, and I look forward to work with you. Now, the first question, this is really something that I discussed with my client the other day. Like I say, a lot of lead gen, especially lead gen campaigns, all right, they are running lead gen meta ads campaigns without a marketing strategy. So what is a marketing strategy and why is it important? Now, let's put it this way. Most of people, if you're running lead gen ads, here's what most people do. They just run ads, okay? And then they start collecting numbers, email addresses, and names, all right? And then they keep calling them, all right? They call them for the first time, they call them for the second time, the third time, and they probably will say that meta advertising is not that useful because about 80 to 90% of them are not useful because they are not ready, they are not responding or whatever. Only 10% of them are kind of ready, and you probably have some closure for it, and you probably break even or you make some money. Some even lose some money, and they just concluded that meta advertising just doesn't work. But here's the thing. This is what I call advertising without a marketing strategy. You see, here's the thing. Whatever you do, I do not know. Like, for example, I used to run lead gen, right? But for my situation, I don't know whether this is something that you can relate to yourself. People who are interested in a meta advertising coach may not need a meta advertising coach right now. But doesn't mean that they do not want to know about meta advertising or they are not interested in meta advertising. Just that they are not in need of help doesn't mean that they are not qualified. So what I believe is you need to have a consistent way to keep communicating with these people. So the easiest way is email marketing. So email marketing is so important, especially if you run lead gen. I don't care. Like the other day, I was just discussing with a local brand who sells on Shopee, which is an e-commerce marketplace like similar to Amazon and stuff like that, right? So Shopee, they asked me, does it work? So let me ask you this question. When you have some issue with your Facebook account, Instagram account, where do you go to? All right. The first thing is email, then only your phone number. Now, both are equally important. But then again, email is usually the place that you always go to, especially if you're at work. If you use email to work, that's the most important thing, right? I still check email the first thing I open my eye or turn on my computer every day instead of phone and all that. So email is still a thing. But then again, I'm not saying that you should just bombard them and all that. So let me give you this example of mine. Let's use me as an example. So what I do is whenever I do lead gen, right? Even though now I don't run ads, I still have a lot of lead magnets out there that will constantly pull in new contacts or new people who are interested in some lead magnets, which is usually free webinars and stuff like that. So when they come in, all right, so I will send email. I usually send 2 to 3 emails per week, all right, usually updating them about my latest videos, and if there's any free webinars, I'll just update them and stuff like that. So over time, these people remember me for what I do. And whenever they need help, the first thing they will think about is me. So many people came to me after being in my list for 5 years, 3 years, seriously, 5 years. It happened multiple times. They don't really open my email, but they say, I constantly see your name popping up. And sometimes I do open your email and I kind of stay updated about, okay, now this guy is still doing this thing. And whenever they need help, they think about me. So back to you, whatever you do, is this something that people will need immediately? And it's an instant need that you need it right now, and in the future, you won't need it anymore. Even for digital marketing agency. People switch agency all the time. Even for property agent, right? Like property agents, seriously, do you nurture your leads? Do you keep in touch with your leads that you generate? You spend money generated these people, like from Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. You have spent so much money. Yes, you may make some money out of it, you may lose it, but the real goal is the constant communication. So I really want you to start thinking about a very simple email marketing. Let me give you this simple framework for you to get started. For whatever you do, let's say if you run lead form, all right, if you run lead gen on using lead form, the basic way, the simplest way, right? You can actually use Zapier and connect it with any email marketing system. For me, I use MailerLite. So you just connect it with MailerLite, you can build a simple automation. And it's free to use, yeah? For MailerLite, it's free to use. Zapier, yes, I think it's free. But wait. Anything that is connected to Meta Leads form is not free. But then again, you can manually export it if you want to. Just do it once a day or maybe 2 to 3 times a week, which is fine. So when they become a lead, if you can use Zapier, that's great. When they become a lead, immediately send them an email to welcome them and say that, hey, thank you so much for signing up. Give them some information. Send them a link to watch your video, whether it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, Instagram. Don't care. Just make them feel more familiar with you, and then all that. Just tell them, remind them, and then constantly email them. I mean, usually the first email sequence, you need to have about 5 to 7 emails, usually about introducing yourself, giving a little bit of testimonial, and constantly inviting them to have a quick one-on-one call with you to understand whatever they need. I mean, I'm not saying that this is what you do. No, this is not something that this is not the only thing you do. On top of that, you will still call them, you will still WhatsApp them or whatever, but the email will play a silent role at the back. All right. Yes, it's okay to have unsubscribe, because those who are not interested, they unsubscribe. And those who are care enough to unsubscribe, they're actually doing you a favor, because you don't want those who are not interested to stay. But for those who stay, even though they do not open your email a lot, okay, you want to have a constant communication. In my opinion, if you can, once a week will be, ideal. For me, I do 2 to 3 because it's easy for me. I've been doing this for years now. And I have a communication reason, which is I have a YouTube video and I just bump it to them and I have an invite. That's what I usually do. So yeah, whatever they have latest update about your market trend, send an email and say, hey, I have this latest market trend. I just recorded a video about this. Feel free to take a look. And by the way, if you need help selling your property, or you are looking for any property, or you know anyone who is looking to buy and sell a property, please refer me to them. Every email, just do a simple like give value and invite, give value and invite. It's gonna really change the game. Now let's put it this way. I have only a few thousand, 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers, but every month, whatever I do, constant emails about videos and all that, and constant invite that I do, I will get 1 to 2 new clients. These are all not new clients. They probably are some old clients that have been with me for a while. Then after that, when they need me, they come back. But that's what we do, right? Just imagine you constantly do this, right? And you keep adding this new email subscriber or phone number or whatever into your email marketing list. Over time, you can spend lesser and lesser on your advertising. That's what I do right now. At first, when I first started, I spent a lot of money on advertising, but over time, I managed to reduce my spend on meta advertising because I managed to shift things over. That's really something that is totally possible, and I want you to be able to do this on your own. So just in case you need help navigating about this, setting up the initial marketing plan or marketing strategy for your lead gen, I can help you. There are many ways we can work together. But then again, if you just need me to come in quickly to walk through, you come up with a plan first based on whatever I shared just now. And then, then let's schedule a 30-minute discussion. And basically, we can go through all your email sequence and all that. If you need help, technical help in terms of setting up, connecting Zapier with your MailerLite and, or whatever things that I can definitely help you along the way. But I really want you to start thinking about having a marketing strategy behind your lead gen. Otherwise, you might be leaving a lot of money on the table. That's what I want to say. Okay. Now, so that's the first thing I want to highlight to you guys. Now, the second one is I wanted to talk about why meta ads fail. Now, this is a very big topic. Okay, it could be the ad, it could be the audience, it could be like the landing page. But what I want to say here is why most meta advertising fail is because they don't really have a system in place. But anyway, I don't think I want to talk about this topic today because this is the question that was brought up by a client the other day. But if I talk about this, it's gonna be a long one. But then this will be something interesting. But I have another question. Let me look into that. Okay, now long-term meta advertising to boost sales. Now let's see what else I have. How email marketing works for e-commerce. Okay, now I think this is important because since we are talking about email marketing, right, I want to talk about this because these are all the topics that I collected from my discussion with my clients. But the thing here is some topics may take a little longer. Like just now when I talk about the lead gen thingy, it's a little bit longer. But since we're at email marketing topic, okay, I want to really give you some example how email marketing can really boost your e-commerce sales. Now, first thing first, okay, when a person order from your e-commerce store, you see, I want to really still argue that email is still important, especially if you're having an e-commerce store and even if you're selling on Shopee and all that, email still plays a very significant role because that gives you, usually they give you the login and if there is anything, they will send a notification to your email and you need to click the link to verify and all that. So email still is important. I don't want to argue about that. So eventually, if you do not open email for a month, then yes, you have a point. But then again, most people who are in business and on daily life, email is still a very important thing that we still check on a regular basis. Now, how email marketing can help you boost your e-commerce sales? First thing first, I want to talk about email cart recovery. You see, especially e-commerce, right? Usually we expect to receive what do we call order notification and updates through email. That's the thing. Now that we have got WhatsApp and some mobile coming up, but then again, email is still the more reliable one, and we always make sure that we give the right email. Now, one thing, I really want to highlight the importance of cart recovery email. If you don't have it, please think about it. And it's really something that can help you capture at least 5 to 10% of those people who are already intended to buy, but they stuck somewhere or they forgot about it. But if you send cart recovery email, it's going to boost your sales by 5 to 10%, which means if you have 10% added to cart, you probably will get one, decided to buy from you because they receive an email reminder from you and say, that, oh yeah, I like this, let me buy this thing. So email recovery is still a very important thing. And you got to write it right. So basically there are different strategies to play. I've seen different success coming from, using different strategies. Some offer some discount, some offer some freebies, some offer some bundles and all that. You definitely need to strategize. And you need to also look at the email as well. Usually cart recovery, I always recommend to have something light. So having the system in place is also important. So if you use Shopify, naturally they connect with Klaviyo, which is a lot more pricey to the pricey point. But you can always use something simpler, like if you use e-commerce like me, WooCommerce like me, I use MailerLite, which is free essentially. So yeah, and you want to write your email in a way that is simple because you don't want the email to go into junk. So that's the thing. Now, so that's the front end, right? So once they buy, when they're interested to buy, the email is going to help you this way to help you nurture more. Now, the other thing is, once a person bought from you, they naturally will open your first few emails. That means, in a way, their inbox will recognize your email as something that is trustworthy. So I really want you to think about having a simple email marketing plan. For e-commerce, you have no idea how important is the email marketing. So very, very basic. All right. So if you're in e-commerce especially, you're supposed to make $1 from each subscriber every month if you do email marketing right, which means, let's say if you have 1,000 subscribers, every month if you do email marketing right, you're supposed to make $1,000 back through your email marketing. And assuming that you're probably paying about, like me, I'm paying about $30 per month for email marketing services. I'm making like what, 90% profit out of it. I don't know how many X ROAS is there. So when it comes to email marketing for e-commerce, there are many things you can do. Okay, you can actually do some of the idea. I'm just bouncing this with you. If you have multiple products every month or every week, in fact, if you're more resourceful, you can talk about one product, which is more like an educational or something like that. And then you can actually give them a voucher to buy. They may not want to buy, they may do. So let's say if a percentage of them decided to buy, that's one thing. And if they like this already, they probably will refer this to your friend. You see, email forward is a thing. I just want you to highlight, I want you to know about this thing. I've got really good email forwards when it comes to my email because they're educational. We invite people to come to my YouTube channel to watch my YouTube video. So I have a lot of forwards. So yeah, and you'll be surprised, this forward may end up buying your product. So this is really leveraging on the community's so-called power to help you grow your business in a very organic way, but predictable way. And another thing beauty about email is that, you know what, if you do this right, like for me, I have about 25% open rate. Okay, that is so much better than organic reach, which is about like what, 1 to 2%. If you do better, it's probably like 3 to 5%. Meaning 1,000. Let's say if you have 1,000 people liking your page or your email, your Instagram, you probably will reach about 30 to 50 people out of it. Like what the hell? But I got 25% open rate. So that's the beautiful thing. Now, second thing, see, here's the thing. Okay, if you miss something on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, if you scroll past it or you don't look at it, eventually it's gone. You won't really go back and dig for it. It doesn't really leave a mark in your head. But you know what? Most of my subscribers told me, they said that, Jason, I keep seeing your name in my inbox. I don't open it, but I know that you are still there. Whenever I need you, I will just come to you. You see, that's the beauty of it. It goes into inbox and it's searchable. You get what I mean? So if a person, let's say if they've been seeing your name, like on a weekly basis, which is your brand and all that, when they need something and then just come back and say, oh, I remember there's an offer the other day. Let's see if this is still available. These are all the opportunity. You're playing certain things in their mind. And let me remind you this. These are the people who have bought from you before. They're a lot more likely to buy from you again. Let's talk about maybe seasonal. Let's say every quarter or every 2 months you run a sale. And just tell them that, look, I have a 30%, it's time to stock up. Do you think they would? A good percentage of them will. So if you run e-commerce, okay, if you're still thinking whether email marketing is for you, I would say don't even need to think about it, because most email marketing service softwares out there or services out there are free to start. MailerLite is one. MailChimp, I believe, is still free to a certain number of subscribers. Start something and watch for yourself whether this is something that is worth investing. I'm not saying that it's going to be applicable to all businesses. If you're selling something that people will just buy once and never come back, then maybe not. But then again, you can still talk about your collaboration, your offer, like affiliate. Those are the possible things that you can talk about. Yeah. So yeah, if you need help setting up an email marketing system for your e-commerce business, I actually work with clients from A to Z, as in, like, if you need help setting up the email marketing platform and connection and all that, setting up several new email marketing system or whatever email so-called automations in place and all that, I can work with you to do that, because I'm a consultant, So basically, I would be able to just give you a recommendation about things to do. But if I come across something that I cannot handle, like let's say the technical side of it, the SPF and DKIM and all that, I have a friend who is really good at that, which I can refer to you, that you can actually just get him to quickly fix things up and everything's going to be good for you. So yeah, do your email marketing. Do not neglect and ignore email marketing. It's so powerful. All right, so yeah, today it looks like we're just talking about email marketing. So yeah, if you need help, just feel free to scan this QR code. Yeah, we'll just talk about this QR code. Yeah, and let's chat on how we can work together. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching this. It has come to an end. Nice chat. Remember, if you have any digital marketing or meta advertising questions, feel free to pop as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. And yeah, then I'll be coming back to your question next week on Sunday at 10 p.m. Malaysia time when I go live next week. All right. Thank you so much. You guys have an awesome September ahead. I'll see you next week. Bye.